Thank you guys for joining me. Welcome back today. Boy, have I got a video for you. What you are looking at right now is me trying to do a galaxy painting, the watercolor method, I guess you could call it. But it did not work out the way I wanted at all. It just looks horrible, in my opinion. So, this is what I ended up with after much trial and error with watering down the paint and everything. I don't have watercolor, so I just took acrylic paint and watered it down as much as, I thought was good. And painted it on here, and it ended up being a complete mess. So right now I'm just taking my paint and covering it all up. It didn't work out whatsoever. This has been one of the hardest pieces that I have done. And yes, it's my first time trying this. And I don't know, I guess I've had, big learning curves before with other things that I've done. But with painting, this is my first time with a big learning curve as this. I thought it was just going to be a simple process, throw the paint on there and it just come out glorious. And boy, was I wrong. So, this video is the whole process of me getting to the final result that I was actually happy with. And the reason that I do voiceovers now is because I can't really talk when I'm doing my pieces and stuff because Samantha likes to sing and talk very loud. So I have been doing my voiceovers now. So I'm going to speed this up. All I did was just take black paint and paint all the way over it again. Yeah, that's all I'm doing here. Alright, so this is the beginning of the second method that I tried. The first one that you saw with me doing the watered down paint on the white canvas didn't work. So I painted it black and I wanted to try this one from a video that I saw. And she made this look so freaking easy, it was not even funny, okay? Now, I design on Photoshop, digital designs and stuff like that, and I have become obsessed with the galaxies and designing them on Photoshop, but I wanted to create a painting. And I have one of my favorites that I have done on Photoshop, and so I wanted to recreate that. So that's where this design comes from. This one is where she was scrubbing the paint in. That's what this was. And the effect that it gave was alright. I wasn't 100% happy with it, so that's why you see me later going in and tapping the paint because I liked the faded effect that it gave. The key to this, I believe she says it too, is to just use as little as paint as possible on your brush. Now I swap back and forth between, they're just stencil brushes that you get at Walmart, nothing fancy. And I had a bigger one and then a smaller one. And I just swapped between the two. And let me tell you, this took forever, okay? And she says, you know, this isn't a fast way to get it done. And God, is she not kidding. I'm serious. This took me forever to do. If I showed the whole video of this, it would probably be over an hour long video. Just of me scrubbing paint on this canvas. Her painting turned out great. The reason mine didn't is because of the glaze that she has. I think my method of applying the colored paint to this it's where I messed up. It is. Because I kind of got the white laid down how I wanted it. And, you know, when you're designing them in Photoshop, you know, you've got the undo button. You can always go back and undo what you've done if you don't like it. And that's one of my favorite parts about it. And I guess you could kind of do that on a canvas. I know. When you're painting too. Alright, so I've gotten most of what I did in this one covered with you. I just scrubbed the paint on there, did swirls, went back and forth, dabbed, all kinds of different stuff until I got the brightness and the faded out sections that I wanted. And then I went back in with color, and apparently I didn't record that part. Thought I did. I can't find the video. I don't know if my phone didn't save it or if I just forgot to record, but I have pictures of it, so it looked like I recorded it and took pictures afterward, but I can't find the videos. And I'm so mad about it. But all I did was take the acrylic paint, water it down a little bit, and go over the white parts with it in the same way that you see here I'm doing, is just kind of tapping and scrubbing it on, because I wanted it to be a thin layer. I really just wanted color to kind of glaze over it like she did in the video, and I'll put the video link in the description for you so you can see what I'm talking about. And I imagine if you use glaze, then you would get, you'd get that effect. Well, I was trying to do it without glaze, and apparently I didn't water my paints down enough, so it didn't work. And I will put a picture in here of what it looked like after I scrubbed all of the paint on, got it the way I wanted, and put the color on afterwards. The first picture that you see is the finished result, and I hated it. I absolutely hated it. I spent days on this painting, and I hated it, and I cried. Okay, not even gonna lie. Cried. I was so upset with myself because it looked horrible to me. My boyfriend's like, it looks fine, it's pretty, and I was like, no, I hate it. I mean, I seriously hated the results. So I thought if I went back in with white and brightened up some of the areas, it would look better for some reason. So in picture 2, you'll see where I went and added little spots of white. Then I thought, okay, it still looks like crap. Maybe if I bring back some of the black, it will look better. Well, I decided to just scrap it and redo the whole thing because I was sick and tired of the way it looked. So I went ahead and took a 1-inch flat brush and put the paint at a diagonal angle across the canvas where I wanted the darker parts to be. And I still have that 1-inch flat brush here, and I'm just taking it and sketching out where I want the galaxy to be. I'll put the link in the description for the video that I followed. She does it pretty quick, but I think she's done this before a few times probably, so she's really good at it. Okay, so after I took and watered down paint and used watercolor paint and went back and forth multiple times, I'm starting to get the look that I want. I've got the lighter area up top faded into the dark, into the black as best I can. And I've got some blotchiness. And that is the look that I'm going for, because when it dries, you've got dark areas, light areas, and it's random. You don't really control where it's at, and that's what I like about it. So for me, watering down the paint is better, or using watercolor paint. I didn't get to the watercolor paint till later. I may have already got it here. I don't remember. Like I said, this painting took me a couple of days to do. It was very nerve-wracking, and I just pretty much just went back and forth from dark to light, watering it down, and just blotching it in places and hoping it dried the way I wanted. It was fun doing this, though. It was a lot of learning, and I know that the next one will be much easier because I know that I'm going to use watered down paint, or I probably just use watercolor. I might use acrylic for the brighter areas at the top and stuff like that. But as far as the faded out areas that are, blotchy and things like that, I'll definitely just water down paint and use it. And I'm going to go ahead and speed this up for you guys so that you can watch it. I know you don't want to sit here and watch the whole hour or two that I have of video of this, but it did take some time. It was very rewarding in the end because I was happy with the results that I got. And so I will just speed it up and let you enjoy the process. Alright, so here I'm starting to put on the stars, and when I create in Photoshop, I have the faded stars in the back, and then you've got the brighter stars towards, on top of that layer. And I wanted that effect on my painting. I didn't just want a bunch of white dots everywhere. So I took and watered down the white paint and mixed it in with the blue that I was using to put on the canvas in the faded out spots and stuff. It's just white with the like muddy blue that I was using already. And I mixed that up and just did a little bit here and there, and then I got another brush that I had in order to brush out all of the ones that were just too big and were ugly that I didn't like. Make sure that you have one of these brushes on hand and more paint available. This watery mix that you see on the right here, I just dipped my brush in that a little bit and went back over the white blotches, and the colors mixed perfectly. And then after this layer, I let this dry. I came back in with just white paint and water and really amped up the stars. After I did that and I got the bright areas where I put more stars in the bright areas along the top of the galaxies and stuff. Here I'm just putting paint on my finger and flicking it. Don't do too much. Always flick off on the plate or whatever you're using first so that you don't get one big blob of paint. Then once I got that done, I went and put glitter on the bright parts with the Wink of Stella pen that I had. And here I wanted some brighter areas that were just kind of glowing. So what I did is I took and just flicked in one spot continuously until I got the look that I was going for, which is pretty much just a bright area. But when you just continue to flick in one spot, it just builds and builds and builds, so you still have a faded look instead of just one big white blotch. So that's what I did here. Here I'm adding some Starburst with a liner brush. I wanted just a couple on there, nothing, you know, real fancy or anything. And after all of that, I signed it. I'm going to, I went ahead and repainted the edges black. Then I took and sealed it with Mod Podge High Gloss varnish. I wanted a semi-gloss look, but I ran out, so I did 2 coats of the high gloss varnish. Then I went over that with 1 or 2 coats. I haven't finished up that yet. I'm still deciding if I want to do 1 or 2 coats. Just depends on how glossy the Mod Podge spray is. Once those have dried, then I'm going to go back over it with matte varnish till I get the faded out glossy semi-gloss look that I'm going for. And that was all. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to hit that subscribe button, and you need to hit the bell too, because most of you aren't getting notified whenever I upload videos. There's a new thing going on. Well, it's not really new, but anyways, if you don't hit the bell, you're pretty much not going to get notified when I upload. So subscribe, hit the bell, like, comment if you have any suggestions or what you want to see me do next. I have really enjoyed this process, as frustrating as it has been. I did enjoy the outcome very much. So I will see you guys in the next one, and thank y'all for watching.